Are we on? Did it click in? Seems to have clicked in. Monday. How you doing? Did you survive the time change? Oh, the time change. Oh, how people get so upset about the time change. Oh, the clock went forward. The clock went backward. No, don't mess with my time. I'm going to get in a car accident on the Monday morning. Because the time change. Maybe I'm in the minority Monday. Maybe I am in the minority when it comes to that. I don't mind the time change. I quite like it because it moves the sunshine. I tend to be not a morning person. Like the fact that I'm on that I've chosen, I own the radio station and have chosen to do my show at 9 a.m. shocks most who know me. 9 a.m.? Why? Like, yeah. Why do you get like, this is early for me. Stupid early. I am much more suited to doing, let's say, like a 2 to 2:30, like a Lowell Green kind of schedule. That's that's more ideal for me. Yeah, no, I don't mind it because, I mean, like, I hate the dark early. Like yesterday was freaking me out. Like the sunset was at 4:40 p.m. Oh, God. But to have sunshine in the morning, and I guess that's probably what I need at most, right? When I'm forcing myself to get up and get going. Like if it was dark out when I'm having my coffee at like 8 o'clock in the morning, forget it. Forget it. I'm just going to crawl back into bed. Day's done. Anyway, no, it doesn't seem to bother me. I know it bothers a lot of people, though. Anyway, hope you survived that. Good morning, Craig. Good morning, Doug. Good morning, Tina Marie. Jules the Dancer is with us this morning. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, Long Point Driver. Sherry Lee. I think that's the first time we've seen you logged on, part of the show. Kelly Kitten Girl, good morning to you, and lots of kisses and all that good stuff. Good morning to everybody who's logging on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. What do you want to talk about? What's of importance to you? I'm more than happy to have a conversation about anything that you're seeing out there that's bugging you. You want to talk about the LRT, maybe. You want to talk about, good morning, Natasha. You want to talk about the time change. Whatever. 613-604-6464. Here, let me put the link up. Bam. It's in the comments section now. If you would like to join me via video and be part of the show, works kind of like Zoom. You just click on that. You get into the waiting room. We can bring you onto the show like that. And if you've got ideas of things you'd like me to talk about, people you'd like me to reach out to, perhaps, then by all means do that. But yeah, the next couple of days are going to be absolutely fantastic. If you didn't get a chance to get your yard work done, the next couple of days are going to be ideal for that. Sunshine 13 today, sunshine 13 again tomorrow. Wednesday, not bad. Sunshine in 9. It was a real treat this morning driving Sue to work. I didn't have to start the truck up early just to defrost the windshield. It felt like late August, early September. Kelly's not looking pretty enough this morning for Zoom. Neither am I, Kelly, but to hell with it. I'm here. So yeah, pretty decent start to the week. Later on in the week, could see some showers, but remaining mild. So that's pretty good into mid-November. In fact, double-digit temperatures right through the week. Does cool off for the weekend. Weekend looking kind of wet at this point. Anyway. So Lizzie's asking question, do you wait till after November 11th for Christmas decorations? We kind of touched on this a little bit last week. I do. I wait until the last possible moment. I started we do a family Zoom call every Sunday, and I started opining on, how it's way too early for Christmas decorations and all the stress and the anxiety that causes, blah, 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 blah. And then my sister-in-law starts hiding all the Christmas stuff that she's put up in her living room. Because I'm just going on a rant. She's like hiding. Then she's like, no. Listen, you know what? Here's how. Typically, I would say yes. You don't want to do it right now. It's too early. I mean, we're still talking double-digit temperatures, right? But we've been through this pandemic for so long, lockdown. quarantines, masking, social distancing, blah, 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 blah. If putting out Christmas stuff right now is going to make you happy, then put out your Christmas stuff. Absolutely. Do it. Do it. And the other thing that kind of propels me to say that, I was casually watching Jimmy Fallon, The Tonight Show, last week. And on came this gorgeous, drop-dead gorgeous drag queen. And when she first came on to the show, I just thought, oh, he's just welcoming, another female guest. No idea who that is, blah, 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 blah. Went about, writing or whatever the hell I was doing, updating a website, booking a podcast guest, something. And as the conversation went on, I went, wow, this person's talking about something really fantastic here. I'm very proud to be, an LGBTQ plus 2 ally. I hate seeing anybody marginalized. Anytime that I can reach out and just, share love, I'm all about that. The show that this gorgeous drag queen is a part of is called We're Here. And the premise of and it's on Crave. It's on HBO via Crave. The premise of the show is you've got 3 drag queens. All different shapes, all different sizes, including Bob the drag queen, by the way. Is there a better name for a drag queen than Bob the drag queen? I think not. And Eureka. And, oh, God, what is her? Shalinda? Anyway, but they go into small town America. And they roll into town in, like, one of them has modified a van into looking like an elephant. One of them has modified a van into looking like a bright yellow purse. And the other one is all ribbons and bows. It is absolutely to die for cute. But they go into small town America, where if you're a marginalized person, it's even more like I cringe every single time I talk to friends of mine who are in, the LGBT or if they're in the rainbow community, and they talk about not feeling safe in this city. They don't feel safe holding hands with their partner. They don't feel safe kissing. They don't have places to go. It breaks my heart because I can go anywhere. I'm a straight guy. I can go anywhere and hold hands and kiss my partner. And I want that for everybody. And it really, really upsets me that there are people who feel that they can't do that in my city. Well, then you get into some of these really small towns, especially in the South, where it's even more difficult. Well, these 3 queens come in and they find, someone struggling with their sexuality. They find someone, an ally, a brother or sister, whatever else. They teach them drag and they dress them up and the costumes. I mean, I don't know what the budget is for this show, but I've done drag a couple of times. I know how expensive an investment it is. I see people like Madge and Diva when they come to town for drag bingo, and just the makeup, the wigs, the outfits, all the undergarments that go into making the male body look more feminine. Not to mention the investment in time and learning, and then the stage show and lighting and sound. But they bring the whole nines, and they encourage these people to just move past their fears, stand up in front of a crowd in their town, put on a drag show, and there was one episode where a gentleman's been doing drag for years and years and years, came out years ago, like in his teens. He's well into his 40s, probably his 50s by now, but came out in his teens, has been doing drag. And his brother just loves him, but is terrified of doing drag himself because of what the comments can be and the pushback and how that could, affect his son, etc. And he does it because, and it kind of speaks to why I do this. How do you really truly understand what someone who this is their reality, this is who they are in real life, and they feel uncomfortable living in a mostly hetero world? How do you really understand that until you literally put yourself in their shoes? And it's absolutely, I dare you to watch We're Here and not cry. I dare you to. You can't do it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And these 3 drag queens that are doing this, it's not just how good they are at drag, but it is how phenomenal they are at that human connection. I watched season 2, episode 3 or 4 last night. I can't remember where they were, but they were dealing with a young trans boy, probably 15 or 16, who also has Asperger's. So is on the autism scale. And just very early on, you get what this person's up against. Not only being trans, not only having autism. Again, this is on Crave. It's on HBO. It's called We're Here via Crave. There are 2 seasons of it. So this young man, trans, nerdy as all get out. His whole world is superheroes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they dress him up. Well, he wants to dress up like one of his favorite characters, and don't ask me the name of the character, but a comic book hero who he identifies with because of the struggles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they turn him into his own variation of that character and just teach him why they don't want him to be that character, but be his own character with his own hand movements and his own gestures and what they mean. And, my wife's got a cousin who's autistic, and you see how the families react, and try and, just move the conversation along and whatever else. And this, this young boy's mom, oh, stop talking like that. Stop saying this. And they step in and they're just like, no, this is important for him to express himself. This is okay. Let him talk. It's absolutely wonderful. Anyway, that was my weekend. I watched a little. Yeah. So my weekend was watching drag queens, watching football. Drag queens, football. That's me in a nutshell right there. Drag queens, football. Anyway, fantastic. Also, late last week, good morning, Andre. He just popped into our feed. Andre from Diversity in the Capital, who is so inspiring and has become one of my absolute best friends. And I love everything that Andre's about and trying to make a difference in his community. And he was having some, he wanted to perfect the audio that he was cranking out of. We're live. Andre's live from T's Pub every single Sunday. It is, it's a gay bar, but it's an all welcoming pub. You don't have to be gay to go there. Anybody's welcome. And he invited me down last week to help him sort out some stuff. And it was my first chance to be at T's Pub. It's a great little spot. It really is a wonderful little spot, and I would really, 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 really encourage you on some Sunday to join him. So, they've got the music. The food apparently is fantastic. The owners could not be more lovely. And the bartender, Stephen Harper, that's what he told me his name was, Stephen Harper, just absolutely cute as could be. So we need more of that, I think, in our city. It makes us better. It makes us more compassionate. I love love. I love love. His real name is Rick. No, his real name is Stephen Harper. So there you go. So yeah, I would love just to, as a show of support, I would really love for us to get together at some point and do a little thing some Sunday and support Andre and all that he's about and all of it that his community's about. Really, I mean, I could not have been more welcomed and just made to feel at home than I was at T's Pub last week. And I was only there like on what was it, Andre? Like a Thursday afternoon at like 2:00. Everybody's so friendly. T's Pub, T''S, T's Pub, 323 Somerset Street West, FYI. Great little spot. What else is going on? As you know, okay, so one of my biggest sponsors, one of my best partners, McCarthy Automotive. So we're talking car repair, maintenance, fleet vehicles, etc. McCarthy Automotive, you know, I've never met a more honest mechanic. And honesty is like, how many times do you read on your social media, oh, I went this place, I think they screwed me. You know, oh, I got an estimate for this much. It seems like a lot of work that doesn't need to be done on my car. You want to avoid all that? McCarthy Automotive. They're not on McCarthy. They're not on MacArthur. They're on Heron Road. They started out on McCarthy Road, but they got way bigger and had to move to a bigger location. Now they've got 6 bays, open 5 days a week. But they've been warning us for the last little while that there is going to be potentially a supply chain issue when it comes to tires. Guess what? CBC News on Friday. Supply chain issues drive winter tire shortage. McCarthy Automotive warned you about this back in November. Anyway, if you're worried about that, do yourself a favor. And look, I talked to Paul from McCarthy Automotive this weekend. People are just, because the weather has been unusually warm, people are not thinking about winter tire changeovers. And when he reaches out and says, you know, hey, listen, it's time. They're like, yeah, no, it's still okay. You know it's going to happen. Even if your winter tires are in storage, you know it's going to happen. Suddenly, we're going to have a day, and it can happen any day now, where we've got snow. And then everybody's going to start calling, I need my tires, I need my tires, I need new tires. Avoid that. Avoid that, especially now that you know McCarthy Automotive, as they usually are, we're right. There is a supply chain issue on winter tires right now, but McCarthy's still got a good pile in stock. So there's a little plug for our friends at McCarthy Automotive. Nancy says, for insurance, I thought they had to be on by November 1st. I'm not sure about that. I do know that if you drive on winter tires, you do get an insurance discount for your winter driving. So there you go. What else is being discussed? Dave, who's in Cornwall, says he never realized there was an adult store around the corner and a brewery. These are a few of my favorite things. November 1st, the record's being set straight on that. November 1st, mandatory winter tires. That's a Quebec thing, FYI. That's a Quebec thing. So there you go. The rule of thumb around here is when the temperature is steady around 7 degrees in the fall and in the spring, that's when you want to do your tire changeover. And stop calling them snow tires. See, that's another thing McCarthy Automotive taught me. They're not snow tires so much as they are winter tires. And they're winter tires because the rubber compound is different than an all-season. And the rubber compound for the winter tire sticks to the pavement better, gives you a better chance, or even if the pavement is clear but just cold. That's why you want to do that changeover. Anyway, I know the temperatures are, like I said, 13 today, 13 tomorrow, will be 11 on Friday, but Saturday, Sunday, 7, 4. I mean, we're getting close to snow temperatures there. And like I said, there's an article from CBC, supply chain issues drive winter tire shortage. The Red Blacks, they gave the Duck the start. Didn't make much of a difference. They were still, they still stunk the joint. I would have loved a win, especially at home, just to end the season, especially Dedmon was back. Devontae Dedmon has just been, in a really awful season. And look, I don't mind an awful season. It's going to happen. I sat through a lot of really bad seasons, pretty much all of the 80s and most of the 90s were awful in the world of Ottawa football. So a bad season, that's fine. I can accept that. It's what they, do they come back from this next season? But Devontae Dedmon, who is a punt return, kick return specialist, unstoppable, really. He's just something to watch. He re-signed for a one-year deal with the Ottawa Red Blacks. And this, when I think of the long history of football in Ottawa, I think of people like Val Belcher, who, moved here from the States and fell in love with this city and got together with a couple of other players and started a little restaurant in Ottawa called Lone Star. Right? That's someone who came to this city to play football, started up a business, and look at it now. There's all kinds of stories like that. Damon Allen, American guy, happened to live 4 doors down from my parents in Centerpoint when he was playing football for Ottawa. Still makes his home here in Canada. Pinball Clements. On and on and on and on and on go the names of players who've come here and fallen in love. When I worked for the Rough Riders as the mascot, I had the luxury of going to a lot of special events, hospital visits, charity hockey games, etc. Oh, I remember very distinctly being on a school bus going to Smiths Falls, and the Ottawa Rough Riders players were taking on, I think it was the Lanark OPP and or fire department, but there's a player by the name of Lloyd Lewis, who I want to say was from Louisiana. And he was talking about how he'd never skated before, but he was on his way to play in this hockey game. And I said, if you've never skated, and if you're not familiar with winter, what made you stay here? And he just, stared at me very matter-of-factly and said, I love how peaceful it is here. He says, I'm a black man. I can walk down the streets here and nobody, looks at me twice. And he started telling, just horror stories about what it's really like in the South for someone like him. He fell in love with the place here. And there he was, God love him, out on the ice in Smiths Falls, the skates crooked underneath his feet, like he's walking. You know when you're like a 3-year-old and mom and dad strap skates to your feet for the first time? Now that you give kids like these little walkers to help them, like learn to skate and get their balance. No, he didn't have that, but he's out there. Helmet doesn't quite fit his head. The shirt doesn't quite fit him. This would have been, Dave's asking what year this was. This would have been 91. But it's just, that's what football means to me. To see these people come here and become such a part of our community. I mean, it's pretty easy to pay attention to our NHL team. We didn't used to have an NHL team, but it's pretty easy to pay attention to those guys. It's big bucks, right? The NHL and the CFL, like like a CFL player makes in a year what an NHL guy makes in a period. Okay? But it doesn't take away the fact that they are both professional athletes, playing at the top of their game, playing in a league, and loving what they do. And just, and by and large, regardless of sport, most of these players are really good community people. So Devontae Dedmon has re-signed with the Ottawa Red Blacks for a year. And this is an interview. This is a press conference he did. I believe it's Lever Sage from TSN 1200 asking the questions. But just listen to what Devontae Dedmon has to say. Let me just make sure I've got the settings correct. I believe I do. Devontae Dedmon. Here we go.
Another year. Why did you do it? Why did you want to be back in Ottawa? I think the fans, after this last home game, are very grateful that they're going to see you in a Red Blacks uniform come next year.
I love this organization. It took a chance on the guy from William Mary. I got sent home, came back, and it's been a journey, but I love the city, man, and there's no other place I'd rather be. So I knew I had to come back and do what I had to do, run it back with my teammates.
I love the city, man. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. There you go, Ottawa. There you go. That's pretty cool stuff right there from probably the brightest spot for the Red Blacks this season, Devontae Dedmon. Loves this city, man. Loves this city. Wants to be back at it. So that's just great to see and great to hear. You know, especially we're so fickle in Ottawa. We have run so many great players out of this town too. Quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. This guy's not gonna. I mean, we chased Damon Allen out of here. He sucks. Get him out of here. We don't need that guy. Guy goes to the Hall of Fame. On and on and on and on we go with our superstars. This isn't working. Get rid of everybody. Blow them up. Football fans are weird in this town. Hockey fans, for some reason, seem to be patient. Maybe it's because most of us have been Leafs fans for so long. We've learned just to be patient and accept the fact that, okay, so this, maybe next year. Anyway, Habs all the way, says Tina Marie. Don't. Did you know about this? I didn't know about this. By the way, 613-604-6464. Let me just put the number on the screen. If you'd like to call in, chime in about whatever, feel free. I'm here just to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Yeah, I've always got a few things I can ramble on about. But did you know that the Ontario government has put in place a tax credit if you have a staycation in Ontario? I didn't know that until I stumbled upon this article. November 5th, Globe and Mail has it. In a rare case of government evoking a word more commonly used as a hashtag during a budget announcement, the Ontario fiscal statement released this week highlighted a new temporary Ontario staycation tax credit, a proposal meant to promote tourism within the province as the region continues to recover from the effects of the pandemic. The province is offering to give Ontario residents back 20% of the money they spend on accommodations between January 1st and December 31st, 2022, on amounts up to $1,000 per person and $2,000 per family. So that's on your 2022 personal income tax. So sometime in 2022, take a vacation within the province of Ontario, up to 20% back. Is that going to encourage you to vacation in Ontario if you don't already? I mean, typically I get away to New Brunswick just because that's where family is, right? But I'm not going to lie. I've had my eyes. I would love to get into the whole RV world. There's something about the RV. My dream vacation is to just shut everything down. Well, not shut everything down, but just not have a house for a year. Put everything in storage. And just live in an RV for a year. I would love to drive coast to coast to coast across this country. I would love to make a stop at every radio station across Canada. I will broadcast from their parking lot. I will interview somebody from the radio station, and I want to talk to them about mental health. And all of it so I can write a book and photograph the people behind the microphone. And I better get my ass in gear on it because radio is eating its own. There's going to be nobody left doing live radio. Good morning, Elaine. She says this is her absolute dream trip. All right. Elaine and I in the camper. Let's go. So I'm always keeping my eyes open on, for a deal on an RV. Actually, speaking of McCarthy Automotive, I've dragged Paul from McCarthy Automotive out to a couple of RVs a couple of years ago. It was like every RV that was for sale. I want to go see this. I want to go see it. 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 Let's go see it. Of course, he's a car guy, right? And he knows about RVs too. So he's looking at it and he's making recommendations. I found one. I'm not even going to mention where or what it's about. I found one online last night. I started thinking about this again. I could buy this thing for less than I sold my boat for. Let's just put it that way. It's not very expensive, which leads me to believe there's probably issues. And I probably don't want to be doing a coast to coast to coast trip on something that's going to have issues. I think if I'm going to do that, I really need to partner with like an RV company, like a manufacturer or like a cross-Canada dealership, just so I've got that peace of mind that should something happen, somebody has got my back. I don't want to be on the side of the road, or maybe I do. Maybe that's part of the adventure. Broken down on the side of a highway somewhere near Yellowknife, wondering, okay, what do I do in this situation? Who do I even call? I don't know. If in for a penny, in for a pound is the expression, right? So, if you're going to go. But I found this beautiful little camper. Can I start a GoFundMe for that? The cost of this camper, this motorized RV, the cost of it is just slightly more than we typically raise for the distress center every year. Like, it's not ridiculously expensive. It's just super cute. It's just super cute. And I can't stop thinking about this now. So at the very least, it looks like next summer, maybe I tour Ontario. Is that a good place to start? Do I spend maybe that's it. I spend the next 10 years of my life making every summer this summer we do Ontario. Next summer we do Manitoba. Maybe Manitoba and Saskatchewan combined. To get to BC, I've been as far as the Rockies in Alberta. Man, there's nothing like it. But you know what's going to happen if I do that, right? Then it's going to be like, well, why stop here? The border's open as of today. I can't believe, by the way, when I look at my social media, just how many people I know who have just been like sitting there revving their engines, waiting for that border to open. Midnight, bam! Like, seriously, I woke up this morning and at least 3 people on my Facebook timeline are already in Pennsylvania. I'm heading south. Why? I think Gracie asks why. I think just because there's so many people who they own property in the States, right? And if you own property, not being able to go to that property it's got to be driving you crazy. You've made the investment. You worry about your property and you worry about your home. And let's face it, winter sucks. It sucks. And if you're one of those people who just embraces it because you love skiing and you love skating, whatever, I don't get you. Sorry, winter sucks. We can still be friends, but winter sucks. I'm right, you're wrong. Period. It's terrible. I freaking hate winter, says Tina Marie. Yeah, I do too. Hate it. But yeah, I think, that's a big reason for it is people just, it's their habit. They're retired mostly. Florida, Arizona, whatever. That's just their routine. That's just where they go. I don't know that I would do. States is a weird place right now. Canada's a weird place right now. States is off the charts nuts. I don't know that that's a place I really want to spend a lot of time. I'm sorry, America. I love you. I do. But there's a lot of craziness going on in your country right now that just scares the hell out of me. I would be more inclined, I think. You know what? I mean, I would love to do a cross-Canada trip, certainly in the RV, no doubt about that. But if I was to spend my winters somewhere on a boat, the boat doesn't even have to work, by the way. I don't even care if the boat leaves the dock. We're talking like a boat that sleeps 6, like a sizable boat. Not a yacht, but a cruiser, certainly. I don't even care if the motor runs on it. Leave it at the slip. As long as it can, as long as the washrooms work, as long as there's power, I'm good. But I would set myself up with my microphone and my computer, and I would broadcast live from a boat in Bahamas, Barbados, any day of the week. That would be my ideal winter. Of course, I'd have to fly down. Not sure how that works out. Somebody just mentioned moments ago my dog. Yeah, not sure how 110-pound Bernese lab mix does on a flight. Mind you, she's probably fine. I'm probably the worrywart in that situation, not her. But that to me would be my ideal winter. I'm not sure that I want to spend time in Florida right now. I got a little taste of it. My parents used to spend their winters in Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is a city. So I went here's all you need to know about Myrtle Beach. Gorgeous area. Absolutely gorgeous. The beaches are fantastic. Lots of great nature. But even in Myrtle Beach, you're not quite out of the snow yet. You'll still have days where you wake up and there's snow on the ground. That to me, like if I'm going to escape Canada, I don't want to see any snow. None. No. I want to be able to sit outside in shorts every day. If I'm spending whatever it is, 65, 70, 85, $300 a day to be somewhere, I don't want to be looking out on snow. If that's the case, I'm just going to stay home and deal with it. But I went down in the middle of February, and I actually had connected with a model online, and we had agreed to meet up on the beach at Myrtle Beach, and we were going to do some shots. I was going to photograph her and whatever else, but I neglected to bring a piece of equipment with me. No problem. So I went to a camera shop in Myrtle Beach, part of a national chain, the only camera shop in Myrtle Beach. And it was just a little interface that I needed for my camera to activate the flash if the flash is off the camera. Now, we can order one in for you. It'll take 2 weeks. Like here in town, I've got like 3 or 4 Henry's locations. I've got a Vistec. There's a Galaxy camera. Best Buy probably even has one. Like I've got a multitude of places I can go to and just like pick this thing up off the shelf. 1 or 2 weeks. I said, what? He says, yeah. He says, sadly, they stock the stores here based on population, like actual population. The population of Myrtle Beach is something like 35, 40,000. But in the wintertime, with all the tourists, it's closer to 1 million. So it's really underserved when it comes to, basic things like that. And I'm like, wow, that's really frustrating. But on top of that, it's an area that, tourism is everything. Tourism is everything to their economy. And yet every single resident has got a bumper sticker on the back of their car denouncing tourists. There was one, I can't even remember what it was. Mom would remember. But there was one bumper sticker, as long as we're shooting things, how about we start with the tourists? I mean, that's not even funny. No. Like how to make a guy feel welcome. How about we start shooting the tourists? Yeehaw. No. So yeah, I don't know that, and that was 10 years ago. Things have got infinitely more nutty in the States the last few years. I don't know that that's somewhere I want to hang out. But anyway, nonetheless, look on your timeline. I swear to God, like every third post is somebody who you know is now stateside because they can be. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, okay, if I've got a condo in Florida and I couldn't go last year, I'm pretty anxious to get back and just, see my place again, make sure my investment's okay. That I understand. But otherwise, and the other thing too, the number of people who are just excited to go and do shopping in the States. Why is that so important to so many people right now? Everything you hear about in the media right now is just how devastated Canadian businesses have been. And yes, businesses in the States have been devastated too. But that's, I don't know if you know this, that is a foreign country. The United States is a foreign country. Charity begins at home. Oh, yeah, but things in Canada are so much more expensive. Well, why do you think that is? No, I'm going to go to the States and buy the thing instead. I'm going to do my Christmas shopping there and save some money. Right. So you're going to put another business or two here at home out of business, which means your taxes will have to increase so that we can continue paying for the bankruptcy, so that we can continue paying the out-of-work people. I mean, you're not really saving any money. Shop at home. What does it take? Is it this city in particular, because we're so insulated, I think, from economic realities, because we're a government city? Because I don't know if you know this, but in a government town, you've got, as close to a guaranteed job with benefits as there is. Nobody working private sector has got what you've got. I spent 23 years working at a radio station. I promise you, I didn't get yearly raises. I promise you, my benefits were not paid for. Well, they were actually. They're paid for by me and subsidized somewhat by the employer. Full dental? No. Vision care? No. Prescriptions 100% paid for? No. So Ottawa's a unique situation. You don't have to travel very far to see, just the impact that COVID-19 has had on this country. Talk to people in Alberta about what they're going through. Look, you're nothing. I'm not likely to change your mind. If you've made up your mind that you'd rather spend your $1,500, let's say, Christmas budget at a mall in Syracuse, well, then you're going to go and you're going to support the mall in Syracuse. And isn't that awesome? Someone in Syracuse is guaranteed a job thanks to you, while somebody in Ottawa is going to be out of a job and out of business and going bankrupt, not because of you, but because of us and the way we think. Why are we not supporting our neighbors? I know it costs more, but so does everything you do. You are charging more for your services here. I don't know. Can it not? I understand, there's some fun in shopping stateside. There is. I've done it. I've gone to Messina. I've been to Ogdensburg. Let me tell you, that's a party. Once you're done at the Walmart in Ogdensburg and you're done with those 10 minutes, then what? Turn around, come back home. I do. I get the appeal. I used to go to Vegas a lot. And we'd shop and we'd eat there and whatever else. And that's money I'm spending there, not spending here. But during this pandemic, especially, I've just become so acutely aware of how every dollar counts here. And I'd much rather, and look, I'm in a position, I got my own business going here. I'm struggling too. This is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. This is not easy. Phone call at 613-604-6464. Who's on the line? Good morning.
It's Julie.
Hello, Julie. Are you calling me from the States?
Hi.
Are you shopping in the States right now, Julie? Are you buying me pretty things?
No, but I know that my sister-in-law is currently in the States right now.
Now, on a shopping expedition, or do they have property there?
No, so here's the deal. Before COVID hit, she had purchased Disney trip through her flight, and then she prepaid her Disney passes or whatever,
Right,
and whatnot for three separate times. Then COVID hit, and they refused to give her a credit. They only gave her they gave her a credit. They refused to give her a full refund. So she only had up to a certain day to use the credit.
Yeah.
So she was like, I'm not losing all this money, so I'm just going to go. So they're fully vaccinated. They did what they needed to do, and they went on a week's vacation over there. But then I do understand, also people, we have a post office box in Ogdensburg. reasoning is because we do a lot of online shopping, and some of the places we do online shopping do not ship to Canada. So
Just
that.
Just what kind of adult stores are you frequenting that they won't ship to Canada, Julie?
It's not adult stores; it's geek stores.
It's what? It's what stores?
Geek.
Geek. Geek.
Geek.
Okay.
Geek.
All right.
Like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. You can get it here, maybe. And because Comic-Con wasn't doing their holiday thing for the last 2 years, finding gifts for my kids were really hard. So we would ship. Oh, I know, because they're into
Julie.
all this geeky stuff. I know.
Your poor kids. They would just. Oh, God. The therapy they would need because Mommy didn't buy me the 20-sided die from Dungeons and Dragons. That bitch. If only she had forked out for a P.O. box in Ogdensburg so she could have stuff shipped there. My mom hates me.
No, but we have one there, and also we shop in Ogdensburg a lot because there's certain food we can't get here.
No, you're right.
Because my daughter's on a very specific diet, she can't eat certain things. We'll go over there and shop at the grocery stores just to get her food, and we haven't been able to do that in 2 years. But we're not willing to pay $150 to go over and back in a day just to have a negative COVID test. It's not worth it.
I understand. If anytime somebody's going stateside, there are chocolate mint. It's a certain brand of mint chocolate chips that for Christmas baking we just have to have. And the other thing is chocolate condensed milk. I am on a diet at Christmas, Julie, that requires the baking to be done with chocolate condensed milk. It's a dietary need.
Oh.
So I feel your daughter's pain. Not so much on the geek stuff, but certainly.
I mean, when you have a full family of geeks and that's all they want, and they want all this stuff, you're like, okay, well, now you're going to different places. We get stuff shipped from Japan here and whatnot, but some places will only go to the States. They will not ship to Canada.
Well, actually, I think I recall off the top of my head perhaps one occasion where a thing I really wanted, I could not, they just would not ship to Canada. And it had something to do with free trade, that there was some Canadian supplier and they had exclusives or whatever else, and blah, 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 blah. But I don't recall. But I mean, is the P.O. box worth it? I mean, it used to be that there was like a general store and like you didn't even have to have a P.O. box. They would just keep your stuff for you. Isn't that, do I understand that correctly?
Well, see, that's it. So where we have ours, it's they leave our stuff for a year and then we get charged storage.
A year. That's awesome.
Well, yeah, but last year we had stuff there and we didn't go grab it, and we had to pay it to come over, and we spent a ton of money to get our like Christmas gifts to come over that were sitting there that we purchased throughout the year before. Yeah, it cost us a lot of money to do that. So we were happy that the border was reopening because we still have stuff there. But again, we're not paying $150 each to go get a negative COVID test just to go and come back.
But Julie, is that the kind? And I'm curious, just because I know that a lot of people do have P.O. boxes on the Ogdensburg side for that reason. All joking aside, is that something like? Could you be the designated fetch person, for lack of a better word, and you've got a group of 8-9 friends who've also got similar setup in Ogdensburg, but you're going to go and you're going to pick up their stuff as well, or do you have to be able to show proper ID, etc.?
You have to show proper ID.
Oh!
You have to be on the account.
Oh!
Yeah.
That sucks. That sucks. Speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, can I make a shameless plug? You know that we have a show here on BTR for Dungeons and Dragons freaks called Vampires and Vitae. Have you had a chance to check it out?
Not me, but I've mentioned it to the 3 people in my house.
I'm not a D&D person. I really have, I'm clueless on how any of that works. But I've certainly listened to the show. It's done by a Canadian woman, by the way, who's married to a guy in Vegas, and they play at their house in Vegas, and they've got microphones and all their friends, whatever else. It sounds fantastic. It really is it's I don't know what they're talking about, but it's a compelling listen. So anyway, I hope the geeks in your house will check it out. It's also available. If you can't check it out, it's because it's like Saturday at midnight into Sunday morning. So it is available as a podcast, FYI, so they can listen to it on their own time.
Yes. I have, like I said, I have a family of all nerds and anime and you name it. Like, I don't even have pictures of my family up. I had pictures of Comic-Con art on my wall.
You know what's sad? This house.
I'm not joking.
This house, I believe you. This house, because I do a ton of photography. The wall space in this house is so limited. I never realized it when I bought the house until you start going and trying to hang things up. Anyway, Julie, you're awesome. I hope you get to the States soon to recover your stuff. When you're going, let me know so I can give you my list of things I need, please.
I will. I'll take everyone's BTR order as they're starting to put their orders in, and I will go on a shopping spree.
Julie, I just had a brilliant idea. This is another reason why I need that RV. It's big enough that you can fill it full of shit. So I can lend you my RV, right? You drive a dog. I think it can survive, even at the ridiculously low price tag that it is. I think it could probably survive the hour-long trip from here to Ogdensburg. Worst case scenario, it breaks down in Brockville. Paul and I can come and get you.
Okay.
You just got to make it across the bridge and back. But oh my God, think of it. The RV is empty. You've got the keys. You're going to Ogdensburg and you're picking up all your nerd stuff. And then you got a grocery list from everybody, who listens to BTR, who needs like mint chocolate chips and chocolate condensed milk and all the other stuff. And you just fill the RV full of shit. And
Sounds good.
and I'll give you my other cell phone, the one with unlimited data on it. And you can stream the whole thing so that when you get to the border, anything to declare? No. And then we can see how that goes for you.
Okay, now they're ripping apart your eyes. That'll be good.
And now I want to go. Now I need to log on to FetLife and ask my friends there, is there anything that I can only get in the States that would be provocative and embarrassing for Julie to have to declare at the border? Then I will have that sent to your P.O. box in Ogdensburg.
It wouldn't be the first time I got stopped by a security guard and he was looking at our list of items. I had to go in and declare our stuff. And he was looking at the stuff and it was all like cosplay stuff and, anime stuff and whatever. And he made the joke going, I said, it's for my kids. He's like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
The thing we forget about border guards, right, is, I mean, they have probably seen everything at least 100 times. There's nothing going through that border that they have not seen before. And the idea that, I know people who like work as professional dominatrixes and get hired by like rich Saudi princes, to come over and spend a week or whatever else. And the gear that they're flying with, like they're not even embarrassed by it anymore. They got a suitcase full of, all kinds of goodies. Yep. Mm-hmm. Just another day, flying in the world.
Yeah, for sure. So like everyone has embarrassed me once before, the stuff we have brought back and I've had to declare. Yeah. The border guards, yeah, they have a field day with that one.
Oh yeah, and there's nothing illegal about most of this stuff, so they don't get, it's just all they care about is what you're traveling with, legal or not. And the only trouble, twice now, flying with my wife is she's a very brave flyer. She's I'm terrified of flying, and yet twice now we've gotten in trouble at the airport because of her. So we were flying somewhere once and they said, is there any chance you've got a corkscrew or no, there appears to be some sharp object in your suitcase. And she says, I don't know what you're talking about. And they grilled us on it back and forth. And they said, well, okay. We're satisfied that it's nothing. They didn't even open the suitcase. They just asked us about it, which was weird. And, you sort of in the back of your mind going, what are they talking about? That was weird. Fast forward, a year later, we're traveling again, and they tap us on the shoulders and pull us aside because there's a corkscrew in her luggage. You can't travel with a corkscrew, FYI. And she's like, what?
No.
They're like, a corkscrew. And, there's security person holding a corkscrew in their hand. And her reaction is, well, that's what they saw in the suitcase a year ago that we couldn't figure out. Shut up! Shut up! No. Anyway, so there's that. And then on a trip back from Newfoundland, we're flying Newfoundland to New Brunswick, and she buys like it's like a cider vinegar. Beautiful little bottle of cider vinegar that you can only get in Newfoundland. And she thought this would be cute for a family member. And she brings it in her carry-on. Everything with her has to be carry-on. Can't check anything. Carry-on. It's just easier to get in and out of the airport if all you have is carry-on, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So she's got liquid in her carry-on, a big hog. Yeah. So I've actually, and I've still got it on my phone. Here's a picture of the blue glove on the security person's arm holding up this jar, $17 in the garbage.
Yep.
But the corkscrew freaking killed me. Like, why are you traveling with a corkscrew? She's like, so I can open wine. I'm like, any wine we're buying when we're traveling is a freaking screw top anyway. Anyway, too funny. Well, good. Are you planning on getting to Ogdensburg anytime soon, or are you going to let that slide for a little bit longer?
We're going to have to let it slide because, like I said, until we don't need a negative COVID test to go and you have to pay like an extraordinary amount, then we won't go.
So Ellie was saying that Ellie had posted that comment a while ago. So is that, I mean, I don't know why I'm asking you, maybe, well, because you probably know more about this than I do. She was saying, even if you're double vaccinated, you still need to have a COVID test?
Yeah. So when you leave Canada, so if you're going in and out, you need a negative COVID test. You need to be fully vaccinated. So when you get to the border, you need to show your vaccination card. And then, when you go into the States, you don't need a negative COVID test. But when you come back into Canada, you need a negative COVID test. So what they're saying is if you get it done in Canada, say the day you're leaving or the day before, and it comes back negative, they'll accept it on the way back if you're doing a day trip. Now, those tests are $150.
Sorry, I'm laughing because that's the same price you just put on how expensive it was to get your Dungeons and Dragons crap across the border the last time.
Pretty much.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't, huh?
That's right. So it's one of those, okay,
Wow.
either those prices need to come down, or Canada's got to lift that restriction of, okay, I'm fully vaccinated. I was vaccinated in Canada. Why do you need a negative COVID test? Oh, because I was in the United States.
Well,
Or I was in an international place that probably has high COVID numbers.
I think for now, okay, this is the way it's going to be. I mean, I think we'll see that relaxed at some point, but.
Yeah, once it's relaxed, we'll go over, and then I'll get everyone's Christmas list, whatever they want.
Do they sell cheaper COVID tests at the Walmart in Ogdensburg by any chance?
I have no idea. I know my sister-in-law, when she's in Florida, she was going to look into it. I don't know.
That will be the ultimate in irony. I drove to Ogdensburg, required a COVID test, bought the COVID test at a discount at Walmart, so I could come back home and not have to spend $150. Too funny.
That's right.
Julie, I can always count on you for great conversation. Things are good in your world otherwise?
Things are busy.
I bet.
With the dance and work and working with my mom and stuff like that. Things are really busy. My new project's going along really well with the help of one of your sponsors, so it's really good.
Yay! Well, we love bringing great people together, so there you go. Julie, by the way, runs Devotion Dance Studio. Here's a plug for you. I mean, why not? You offer low mobility classes, too. Just a great chance to get your body back and moving every single Sunday. You've teamed up with the gang from Inner Soul Yoga and Cycle, too. So what's the deal there? What's the symbiotic relationship you've got going on there?
So what they've offered me is I'm allowed to rent their spot because our dance studio Canada has 22 stairs to get up. And people with low mobility have a hard time to get up. I even have problems. It takes me about 10 minutes to get up those stairs.
I would have problems with
I'm having a lot
22
of
stairs.
mobility.
I'm not going to lie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Yeah, so 22 stairs to get up to the dance studio because we're on the second floor. So I talked to Inner Soul Yoga and Cycle, and they said, well, you can rent our studio. It's main level. It's door entrance.
Yeah.
And it's been great. And I actually had my mom and Chrissy joined us, who won the 5 passes, joined us on this Sunday through Zoom, and she loved it. So she'll probably tell you her experience, but she's like, I love it. It brought me exercise. It got me, she said, I'm sweating. This is great. And she did low mobility class. Absolutely loved it. So, if you know anyone or know anyone that has low mobility or just wants to start exercising but doesn't want to do our adult classes, which is like on your feet, I guarantee you'll burn a sweat. And if you come to the class itself, then you get to see the shenanigans my mom does with her own customers.
See, what I love about Devotion Dance Company is that's exactly what it is. You're not putting it out there. I mean, there are some people obviously who are doing very advanced things, but I mean, this is for the everyday person who just, maybe at the end of it all, maybe after you've taken a couple of weeks of classes, you've just got that confidence, and you got a couple of moves that, filming a 15-second TikTok video, that seems like a fun kind of thing to do, but it's just, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do the treadmill. I don't want to do the working out, the heavy duty working out. I don't want to be doing, the rope shake thing and, all this kind of stuff. But I recognize I need to start moving my body a little bit. What a great way to do that. Just, throw on some music and dance with some friends. I love the whole idea of that.
And I've gotten some pretty good music from listening to DJ Thumper, and sometimes our warm-ups and our cool-downs are, quite nice to do that.
That's
so
awesome.
DJ Thumper, thank you.
You're welcome. Got my Thumper shirt on today, by the way.
I see that. Yay! But
Awesome.
I love it.
So,
but no, we offer so much, and for anyone. But like, if you don't want to come to an adult class, you're like, I don't know how to dance, that'd be too hard. Then try the low mobility. You sit in a chair, and we work our upper body, and or if you're in a wheelchair, or if you just love to dance, just come check it out. And if you're not really sure and you want to check it out, I'm going to offer this for your BTR listeners. Contact me and I can get you to check out a class for free. If you contact me just to come check it out. And if it's something that you like, then we'll set you up with a package or whatnot. But some people are just, that's that first initial class to get them to.
That's all it takes too, I think, is somebody's just got to go in, they got to experience it, and they'll fall in love with it and sort of go, you know what, this, I don't feel like I'm working out. I just feel like I'm having some fun. For me, if a workout's fun, then it's not a workout. It's just me having some fun. That's what I love about, like, speaking of Inner Soul, that's what I love about their spin classes. It doesn't feel like a workout to me. It's just, because I'm good friends with Lindsay as well at Inner Soul. So it's just, me goofing off with one of my best friends, got some tunes cranked up, and I happen to be pedaling a bike and shedding a couple of pounds. So, it's fun, but it's, you got the lights going, you got the tunes cranked up. It's, that's an environment that suits me. Do you teach the Hattaway dance, the What Is Love head bob thing? Do you teach that? That's a very low mobility thing, isn't it?
I could teach that. Okay. That's not a problem.
I think I could
totally teach that. Just to kind of show you what my classes have been like. The first class we did was kind of like twisting into the 50s. And then yesterday we did an old school song from Stacey Q back in the 80s called Reconnect.
Did you just call Stacey Q old school?
I did. I'm sorry. I think it's old school because I used to dance during the 80s and 90s. Julie. So and we did kind of an 80s kind of theme, but I found a remix of the song and it just worked,
That's awesome.
So, and that's just kind of what we do. And yesterday was a little bit more impact, like a higher impact than the twisting into the 50s type idea that I did with my mom. And then, if you go online and you go to my Facebook or Devotion, you'll see the Halloween one that we did, Thriller, you'll see me and my mom dancing. And that was our Halloween little thing that we did. And she loved it. So that was the whole thing,
I still need to learn to shuffle. Shuffling is just every time I flip through Instagram, it's people shuffling. Every post is shuffling. I need to learn how to do that. You can teach me, right?
I can teach you anything.
Yes, I know. We've heard about the things you order to your P.O. box in Ogdensburg, Julie. I'm sure you can teach me things about anything.
I'm a dance. I can teach you anything in dance. I've been dancing for over 40 years. I can probably teach you anything in dance.
Oh, dance. Oh, yeah. Okay. All
dance.
Right. Dance.
Let me.
Got it. All right, dance. Julie, Devotion Dance. Correct me if I'm wrong. DevotionDance.ca is the website.
That's right. And like I said, if anybody wants to contact me and want to just do that first class or get to that first class, let me know and I'll work something out for you guys.
I'm going to contact you just so you can drive my RV down to Ogdensburg and fill it with stuff.
Sounds good.
And then you can dance your way back across the border. Thanks for calling, Julie. I love when the listeners call. I love talking to you guys. Thank you so much, Julie.
Not a problem. Now I got to get back to work.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. All right. There goes Julie. Jules the Dancer. DevotionDance.ca is their website. There you go. Another edition of Let Me Just Say This About That. Now, let me just say this about that. If you'd like some kick-ass tunes for your workday, join me at blasttheradio.com. Cannot stream music on Facebook. Cannot stream music on Twitter. Cannot stream music on YouTube. I can on Twitch, though. blasttheradio.com, the jumping off point. Great day of music ahead. Thanks for joining me. Let me just say this about that.